Hello and welcome to RPGeeks, where we do Dungeons and Dragons and Science set in the sci-fi world of Braxigantu. We are four science communicators who love to play D&D and talk about the sci-fi concepts that come up in the game. Before we get to that, we will introduce ourselves very quickly. My name is Shamini. I use mostly she, her pronouns, and I like talking about science and making videos. Simon.
Hello, my name is Simon. I use he, him pronouns. And I too also like talking about science and making videos about science. Emily Bates.
Hi, I'm Emily Bates. I use she, her pronouns too. And I hate talking about science and making science videos, but they pay me for it, so I do it all the time. Ali.
Oh, my name is Ali. I use he, him pronouns. And this is awkward because I really like making science YouTube videos.
Guys, I lied. I love it. It was a joke. So that's us. The first section of our show is called the DnDebrief. We are debriefing things that have already happened. They haven't happened yet, but they have happened previously in our campaign, in our world of... Well, the debrief. The debrief is first. You know, it's odd, but
we're talking about things that have happened already
in the past.
Not necessarily. We sometimes do just talk about things that are in the abstract in terms of like in our sci-fi world.
Using quite often, actually. Yes. Talking in the abstract today about exciting topics related to our sci-fi D&D campaign is Dr. Simon Clark.
Thank you. So I thought that for the D&D, I'm going to be fully transparent with this. I got some notes, not as much as I would normally have, because I just got back home about an hour and a half ago from a filming trip.
Are you saying you procrastinated doing the D&D brief?
No,
none of us have ever done that. Not once.
I was preparing this on the ferry. I was trying to make do with my mobile connection and working on my phone. But I do have some notes, and it is something that I find particularly interesting. And
the notes are, please talk about this.
Yeah, it's like the meme. It's like the D&D, the DM's notes, and it's like, you've already worked everything out, and all the DM has is like a post-it note that says "sexy goblin?" ? Basically, what I've got.
Ali, where are all the sexy goblins? I want more sexy goblins.
Yeah, I'm going to join Team Sexy Goblin. I'm with Bates on this.
You play a sexy goblin in our home game.
Well, I think sexy is a bit of a stretch.
Okay, yeah, maybe not. Okay.
So listen to that voice, though.
Oh, I love him. Leon.
Husky.
Leon Grotsky. So...
Sorry.
It's so sad
I missed that character.
That's the best voice.
I have two modes. It's that or basically grog. So
exactly what you have.
I thought that today I could relive a very traumatic experience for Uriel, my character, and talk about atmospheric re-entry. So,
God, that is brutal.
Yeah,
it's quite brutal.
But let's see what put my family in the fucking ground. Quite literally, because Martinsbane was an orbital space station that then crashed through the atmosphere and landed on Braxigantu. Well, bits of it landed on Braxigantu, because the process of going through the atmosphere is quite violent, and it's not particularly good for something unless it is specifically designed to go through the atmosphere. So there's obviously a lot of precedent in kind of real life space programs, and we have both controlled and uncontrolled re-entries to the atmosphere. Does anyone know off the top of their heads what the largest, and I mean largest in terms of mass, object was that's re-entered the Earth's atmosphere?
Do you want a number?
Yeah, give me, or no, not a number, just like which object do you think, which man-made object is the largest that's had to re-enter the atmosphere?
What's had to come back down?
Spaceships for this.
I mean, there's not
the big thing.
Nothing that big, right?
Right, it's the space
big fuel
shuttle
tank from the space shuttle.
So the fuel tank is ejected before. So there's two components to the space shuttle that get ejected. There's a big orange tank, which is fuel that gets ejected second, after the solid rocket boosters get ejected, but they're both before re-entry. So
but the shuttle itself coming back
in? The space shuttle itself was the second largest object that's ever come back through the atmosphere. That's the largest that's been planned. Well, no, there's plans to return and be okay.
Did something
crash? Is it that it's that Chinese space station, right?
Not Chinese, but it was Mir. It was the Russian space station.
Sorry, yes.
So Mir has a mass of 120 tons.
Ooh.
It was quite big. The space shuttle's about 100 tons. Just it's a little bit less. So Mir technically wins out. But Mir, of course, wasn't designed to re-enter the atmosphere. So after a long life of going around the planet, I don't even know how many orbits it did.
Ali came along and was like, "I'm going to DM all over this."
That wasn't me. You don't know who that was, if it was anyone at all.
Crashed through the atmosphere and landed in the Pacific, but it broke up on re-entry because when something enters the atmosphere, it basically goes down. Normally, I think of an atmospheric scientist as the atmosphere starts with the troposphere, and then you've got the stratosphere, and the mesosphere, and the thermosphere, and you go up. Whereas it's re-entering from the top down, so it's going through the exosphere first, where not very much happens because there's not very much stuff up there. Then it hits the thermosphere, where it definitely starts to slow down a bit, but the thermosphere is
thermosphere, is that where it's something? Just what is that?
That's the part of the atmosphere.
I haven't got your book to hand.
Yeah,
this is normally I'd be like,
right here. The thermosphere is the part of the atmosphere that the International Space Station orbits. So it starts at about off the top of my head, I think it's about 80 kilometers up, and I think it stops at about 600. So
big.
It's big, but there's not very much
thermosphere for a reason,
because it's very hot. But it's the part of the atmosphere where the concept of temperature starts to break down, because temperature is just an average of the kinetic energy of molecules, and there aren't very many molecules left.
Is there like an atmospheric scientist chat up line that's like, are you the thermosphere? Because you're really hot.
Well, if there is one, I am like the mesosphere, because nobody fucking cares about me.
No!
Nobody cares about the mesosphere.
That's your chat up line.
Yeah,
that's a bad chat up line.
I'm married. The one thing that the mesosphere has going for it is that it's where a lot of atmospheric drag takes place for things that are re-entering the atmosphere. So it's where meteors burn up, and it's where a lot of the breaking of spacecraft and things like that occurs.
What's it like if you're something traveling through the thermosphere and you hit the boundary of the mesosphere? Is it like hitting, the ocean or something?
Is there like a boundary, or is it like a bit?
Does it feel like you've just smashed?
Does it fade in?
No, it's very much a. Oh gosh, off the top of my head, I think the top of the mesosphere is where there are too few molecules of air for it to behave as a gas, for you to be able to effectively model it as a gas. So it's quite an it's an idealized boundary, not like a physical thing.
So it is like a fate, like an ombre.
Yeah. So there's this idea that if you re-enter the atmosphere at the wrong angle, that somehow you'll skip off of it, like off of a pond, which doesn't actually happen. The idea is that you would pass through a bit of the atmosphere, you'd break a bit, but then you would carry on, and you end up in this elliptical orbit around the Earth that you'd eventually decay. If people have played Kerbal Space Program, if you miss the atmosphere, you just go around a couple of times and eventually you re-enter. But you do have to be quite precise in terms of where you're aiming for. So I got the figure for Apollo 13. So
hang on, wait, where you're aiming for just to get into the mesosphere?
Yeah, so if you no. So if you want to try and re-enter the atmosphere as a spacecraft, there is a narrow corridor where if you come in steeper than this angle, you will burn up because you don't have enough shielding, and you'll experience too many G-forces as a human, so you just die on re-entry. But equally, if you go too shallow, then you don't pass through enough atmosphere to break, and you just skip out and you enter this elliptical orbit. And it's quite a narrow corridor. So Apollo 13 had to approach an angle of inclination. So if you imagine this is the angle above a tangent to the atmosphere of between 5.3 and 7.7 degrees. So the equivalent, if I remember this stat correctly, you imagine that the Earth is the size of a basketball and the moon is the size of a softball. If you place them 15 feet apart, that's roughly to scale. Like a bit bigger than like a you ever play softball? It's like American version of rounders.
Okay. What? It's American. Why would we have played it?
Oh, I mean, I played it.
It's very much British.
It's a bit bigger than a tennis ball. Let's say for the sake of argument, tennis ball. So you've got
like a
softball.
Yeah, like a softball. So they're 15 feet apart. That's roughly the scale of the system we're dealing with.
Okay, 15
like
feet
a pomegranate.
Okay.
Yes, like a pomegranate. This is not where I thought that they would have a problem.
British.
Yeah,
famous British pomegranate.
It's like a spotted dick, or a sticky toffee pudding.
Fucking love spotted.
So yes, like a sort of like one of those packaged sticky toffee puddings that you put in the microwave.
So you take a basketball and you take a packaged sticky toffee pudding and you put it 15 feet away. That's roughly the size of the moon. Then
I could see that.
The Apollo astronauts had to aim for a corridor of re-entry that was the same thickness as a piece of A4 paper.
It's huge.
No,
that seems big.
As in the thickness.
No, I know.
Not the width or the length, but
thickness.
the thickness of a piece of A4 paper.
Yeah, but like how thick is a human being in that model?
Yeah, but you're still pointing at it from 15 feet away if you're doing a lunar re-entry.
Ali just fell over nothing.
That's the ghost of Jim Lovell coming to get you.
I just suddenly realised that.
So if you're on the moon and you've got to hit it at that angle, does that mean you can't just go straight to the middle. You've got to hit it at the right point.
You've got to hit it at the right
angle off the atmosphere.
Apollo 13 did have a problem because for people that don't know, Apollo 13 was the Apollo mission that didn't land on the moon. They had to abort and they had to try and come back to Earth. When they tried to re-enter, they found that they were coming in at the wrong angle. And one of the reasons for that was because they didn't have hundreds of kilos of rocks that they were taking from the surface, and that was causing them to shallow. So they had to do a correction burn on the way.
They'd already gotten their rocks off, so they couldn't.
God's sakes. We left the unprofessionalism behind in the bit just for Twitch.
I've been trying not to giggle at re-entry and getting the angle right and all of this, and then now you just go,
Emily Bates.
Debrief for me.
I thought that we were above this. It's fine.
Did you really?
Anyway,
You've only thought that because you're the one talking.
True, this is true.
Someone else, me and you would have been sending messages to each other being like, hee. You know it.
Great.
Is
No,
that literally all those messages ever say? They say,
Pretty much. There's a lot of like, lol.
It's a bit like calm, lol.
It's exactly what they say. Our chat history is horrendous.
So where I was going with this was we've got the basketball and the sticky toffee pudding. The point is, you are re-entering the atmosphere in a very tight window because you are re-entering incredibly quickly. If you're going up, stop it, children. You're coming in hard, is what I'm saying. You're gonna be re-entering tens of kilometers per second. Like orbital speeds are no joke. So if you re-enter too fast, then you're going to have problems, and specifically you have adiabatic compression. So the reason
are you trying to slow down?
So is this why you might skip off the
No. So this is the skipping off would be because you don't brake enough, and you brake a little bit, but you enter into this orbit around the Earth that would eventually.
The atmosphere is what's slowing you down, right? So the reason you have to hit this atmosphere is so that you slow down enough.
Yes. So
right. So if you sorry, can I just the skipping thing is that because you don't slow down enough, so you basically just whiz all the way past the Earth, and you're like, I've just missed the Earth.
You missed the Earth, and you specifically missed the Earth while still passing through the atmosphere and like losing a little bit of your kinetic energy, and that means that you enter.
But you didn't lose enough.
Yeah,
got it.
Whereas if you come in too steep, then you undergo two processes. You have adiabatic compression and you have friction.
I'm really sorry. Can I just ask another question?
Sure.
I'm really sorry, Dr. Simon, Daddy. It's that
no, we're having less of that. We need to replace that Twitch clip.
Daddy Simon.
So is it like? So is it basically all a kinetic energy exercise? It's like, look. You've got a load of kinetic energy. You need to land on the Earth with no kinetic energy, or at least very little kinetic energy. So it's all about getting rid of your kinetic energy, but not getting rid of it so quickly that you just liquidize under the G-forces.
Pretty much, yeah. Because you've got there are G-forces where if you slam into the atmosphere, because the atmosphere gets exponentially denser the closer you get to the surface. That means that, in practical terms, if you're entering at that kind of speed, you hit the stratosphere normally, and that's when your speed just tanks. Like, you just start plowing into so many more molecules. And I did this video a little while back about could you cook a potato by dropping it from the top of the atmosphere, or yeeting it from the top of the atmosphere.
Yeet.
And you found that the speed of it was like pretty constant until it hit basically the top of the stratosphere, and then it just dropped off a cliff. And if you come in at tens of kilometers per second really quickly, that dropping off a cliff is way too fast. It would kill any human. And the reason that happens is because of friction with the air. The other process that happens is this adiabatic compression, which is to say the spacecraft is moving so quickly, it compresses the air in front of it. And it compresses it so quickly that there's no opportunity for heat transfer with the surroundings, which means that it heats up. And so that's why you get these re-entry fireballs. And you're looking at thousands of degrees Kelvin or Celsius, it doesn't matter.
Does that mean that the difference between the front end and the back end of whatever's traveling through the atmosphere is massive?
Absolutely massive. And it's why you get these very complicated heat shield technology that allow you to do it safely. So there are basically two ways that you can deal with it. You have the most common one is an ablative heat shield. The idea is that you the specific material here is a plastic resin that you put on the front, and as it heats up, it kind of gets eroded away. And the idea is you're sort of wicking the energy away that you're building up. The other thing you can do is a thermal soak heat shield, which basically absorbs the energy and then radiates the heat away from the rest of the spacecraft. So that's what they did on the space shuttle. The ceramic tiles they had would absorb the heat and then re-emit it, rather than having the tiles being stripped away as it re-entered.
Does that mean that it would. So presumably, if you're absorbing it at the front, you've got to re-emit it somewhere else because it's not going to get re-emitted back onto the front, is it? So you sort of re-emit it out the back or the bottom or something.
I am not sure about the answer to that. I believe that that they would just store it and they'd have a very high heat capacity. So you take in lots and lots of energy for it to raise the temperature, and then it would re-emit it, but sort of in every kind of direction. But I think the actual window of re-entry where you have to worry about this stuff is of the order of a couple of minutes. So you still have plenty of time afterwards then to radiate that heat back into the rest of the atmosphere.
Right. So once you pass through that initial bit, you've still got another couple of minutes of dropping before splashdown or whatever.
And another
in films, whenever you hit the atmosphere, it's like silence, boom.
Yeah.
Would it make that noise?
You wouldn't get like a boom, but it would be like quite a rapid like kind of like build up of sound, most likely. And you'd see and you do see it in re-entry videos of the flames licking past the windows. Like I can only imagine how stressful it is. But the other thing
is that the oxygen in the air just spontaneously combusting?
I don't know, actually.
It must be because it's got to have fuel, right? So it's got to have something to.
Well, I imagine
light.
I imagine it's probably the stuff that's on the outside bursting into. The space.
Yeah, because you've got to have something to catch light. Oxygen doesn't catch light.
Outside?
Well, I think normally it's resin.
But that's the stuff that's coming off, right?
No, because it's air itself. When you heat air, it's something about the air itself, the heating of the air, which releases the different colors of flame, right?
Yeah, well, I was gonna. There's sort of a thing you could talk about here in terms of like if you were watching something re-enter, you can kind of tell what it is based on the colors that it produces. So spacecraft make different colors than meteorites. Like spacecrafts often give off things like blues and greens because of the copper and aluminium that you find in spacecraft. Because I was involved in a TV show a little while ago where there was a clip that we had to try and explain of they were like, is this a meteor or is this a spacecraft? And they said it was a meteor, and I was like, no, it's not. Like, I can guarantee you that's a spacecraft because, like, look at the speed that it's going at, because it's going way too slow for it to be something that's come from outside the solar system, and the colors are all wrong. And they went away and asked, it was either ESA or NASA, and they were like, "Yeah, we need to refilm that because you were right," which was pretty gratifying.
Yeah, good job.
Nice.
But the other thing, like a thing that I feel like there are two, just to round this up, there are two things that I find particularly interesting. One is something that often gets missed is that you are, I believe, creating in that process of re-entry, when you have that fireball, it's basically like a small amount of plasma that because you're disassociating the gas, right? You're rendering it into a really, really hot plasma. And that means that you have a communications blackout because there's a property of plasmas that you can't put electromagnetic radiation beyond certain wavelengths through it. Like it just gets absorbed.
You're fucking serious?
Yeah. There's a whole.
They act as like a. That's how fucking. That's
and
awesome.
it's like a filter. You get depending on the temperature of the plasma. That's there's like a wavelength cutoff. I remember doing this in my undergrad.
The plasma itself fucks with the electromagnetic field.
Well, because
itself.
If you think about what plasma is, it's just a bunch of charges. Like it's just really hot bunch of charges that are all intermingled. And electromagnetic wave is in simple terms something to do with charges and how they move.
Sorry.
So they're generating all these field, like, you know, there's an absolute chaos of electromagnetic radiation within that plasma. So trying to put a signal through and expect it to come out the other end is not going to work unless it's. I can't remember if it's a high pass or a low pass filter. Someone will tell me in the comments, I'm sure.
Is this the same reason as when the universe was created? There's a period before which we could never see because electromagnetic radiation couldn't pass through.
I believe so.
I think that's right.
There's the period of first light, which is like how many millions of years after when the universe had cooled down enough. Because
I've never heard that. The description of the universe as a hot plasma mess. That's amazing.
It's just a hot mess, and now it's still a hot mess.
Yeah.
Are you the universe? Because you're a hot mess.
And
sorry, are you the early universe? Because you're a hot mess. That'll do. There we go. Yeah.
And speaking of, the last thing I wanted to mention was, speaking of hot plasma messes, actually, was a lot of this info, because I looked this up for the potato video, and I was looking for a lot of technical documentation. A lot of our knowledge of this comes from ICBMs, so like intercontinental missiles. they had to design the nose cones of those such that they would re-enter, do so in one piece, and still stay on target.
Oh, how depressing.
So a lot of our that's like a lot of atmospheric science is like we only know a lot about parts of the atmosphere because people were so interested in trying to trace radioactive fallout from nuclear tests. They wanted to know, if we're picking up certain isotopes of stuff, where has it come from? And so we have to be able to model atmospheric currents and particularly like the structure higher up in the atmosphere. And so like there is this history of sort of things like nuclear weapon tech advancing science in really unexpected ways. I'm not saying it's worth it, but it's something that's just sort of interesting to note.
There's a lot of bad science, a lot of bad things that led to some very interesting science, but yeah.
I was talking about that on my talk this weekend about colonialism. Kind of all of modern science.
Simon Clark, why colonialism?
It turns out it wasn't a really great idea. But we did get some good data out of it. It's just that we never talk about where that data came from.
Yes. Sure.
Dark. Right, on that cheery note.
But yes, atmospheric re-entry. Martinsbane didn't make it through because it wasn't designed to go through the atmosphere.
You
want something to survive atmospheric re-entry, you're going to have to be very specialized in how you put it together.
I mean, that's one thing that I guess we should talk, because Infinity did do that.
Well, in theory,
if you hairdo. Marge Simpson hairdo.
If you just did it slowly enough, if you just did like a very slow controlled burn, I guess it'd be very inefficient. But if you've got a lot of energy, you could just be like match the rotation of the planet and then just fall and.
Oh, okay. We'll go with that.
So
okay, cool.
why do things actually break up on re-entry then?
Oh, you know how it is. People draw. They get new interest. They
grow apart. Is it because is it because you heat different bits that shouldn't be heated and they just sort of warp and rip apart?
Yeah, it's mechanical stress.
Weaker joints, right? Yeah.
There's a great example of it in the movie Gravity, when you see the International Space Station. Actually, no, it's the Chinese station in that film. Re-enter, and you can see just like the solar panels get shredded very quickly, and then you see stuff.
I thought it was the Chinese.
But is that just the heat which is shredding it? Not
but it's also the friction. It's also it's a mixture of the two. I think it'd be mostly the force, I would guess.
Yeah.
I think if we chucked you through the atmosphere, Anna, you'd break up a little bit too.
Oh my god.
Sorry. I just think it's true. Oh no, he's done a sad face and I hate it. Annie, I'm sorry, I love you. Annie,
no one's going to chuck you out of the atmosphere.
We're not going to.
Like you do.
We're not going to do
Uriel's home.
You did it to Uriel's home. We wouldn't do that to you.
He's gone. Come back.
We've lost him. Oh no.
Daddy Ali, please.
We should go to a break and hopefully he'll be back.
Daddy, please come back.
We're going to see if we can get the DM back, because here's the Fate Weaver for our campaign, which we're just about to start after the break. Please hang around and we'll see you in about 5 minutes. Bye.
See you in 5.
Welcome back. Now comes the excitement of
That's what she said.
Dungeons and Dragons.
Ali just did one of those before we came on. I felt like I had to jump on it.
Yeah, Ali. It was definitely Ali that did it and not me. 100%. That's what happened.
It's like having a sibling, but like you blame for stuff.
This is the part of the show where we take things seriously, because our campaign, things are happening in our campaign. We're going to tell you quickly.
It's a serious campaign.
The characters that we're playing before we dive in, just to give you a little recap. I am playing Tenebris. Tenebris mechanically is a drow level 7 aberrant mind sorcerer. I've talked lots about the cool colony and how the powers of mind work, and it's very awesome. Emily.
Hello, I play Infinite Sky 6000, serial number 869197226 PMGB1530ML. I nearly ran out of breath, but that's her serial number. She's mechanically a wood elf druid, but in our game, she is a terraforming robot, a druoid, if you will. Simon.
Hello, I play Uriel, and they are mechanically a dwarf monk, and in our universe, also mechanical. Because they are a mechanically enhanced human, transcending from the weak biological flesh to the certainty of steel, and is in a little bit of a bad place after being at the spiky end of an encounter last episode, at the hands of our Fate Weaver, Ali Jennings.
I was simply describing what was happening. I am the DM, but obviously you must call me Fate Weaver.
Fate Weaver.
I don't know if you could hear that. Let me say that again. Just roll the film! I can't.
I'm rolling the film!
So, where were we? The party are searching the wreckage of the Martinsbane space station. This is a cavernous orbital ship that has crashed into the sprawling city of Gunker. They are investigating the source of the mysterious energy surges that have been radiating out from the city. We find our three heroes in a frigate, a long dagger-like black ship, suspended between two sides of a huge cylindrical central core of this crashed space station. Having just encountered a gang of what seemed to be scavengers, they made short work of them, and after having suffered some light to medium damage,
Light to
they
medium
come out
blows.
the other side. Light to medium blows or damage. And now we find them stood, surrounded by the bodies of these black-clad figures who were unfortunate enough to meet our party. They are searching deep inside this space station for something that one of the party knows about. Uriel. You three, what would you like to do?
We should see if they found anything. We should search their bodies.
What
If
have
it's
they
taken
found that
anything
we would
valuable.
want? I don't know.
Roll investigation checks, anyone who wants to have a look.
I would like to.
Beef, come on, you.
Ooh,
Around
it's
you,
good,
you
it's
hear the
good.
dripping
An 8.
of oil.
I'm just gonna nervously
From the
just be like looking
ceilings.
around for more trouble.
That's 22.
Uriel, you're still too overcome with whatever this emotion is. You can't accept it, but it's playing hell with you. Infinity, you search among the bodies. You find some cards, some sort of chips, which you think might contain money if you were to investigate them further. You also find one weapon, so one of the rifles that you saw one of these people carry, which equates to a crossbow, so a short crossbow. But that's it. Not a great deal on them.
I'll. Would anyone like this rifle? I'm not sure it's any use to me, but
I've already got one.
Tenebris?
I don't.
It might be helpful, even just to hold as like a
And they'll look
intimidation.
scary.
Right.
Yes, okay, I'll
yes.
hold it and it'll look scary, okay.
Right, and I mean they're dead. They don't need their money anymore, right? I don't really have my own yet, so maybe I should take this.
Sure.
Okay, and I'll take the cards.
I like at this point, presumably, we've got like a Rolodex of the cards of people that we've killed, basically. Like, trying all the cards to see what's left on all of them.
It's like when you've got vouchers and you're just like, and another one, this one, and this one.
Uriel, can you tell me what buttons I should not press on this rifle? Like, if I
Right.
don't... Otherwise I might shoot you.
Okay,
If
the
your own
basic thing
self-interest,
is
yeah.
you point the thin end at what you don't like,
I
and then the little stick bit at the bottom, that's like a really primitive, like, mechanical trigger. So you just...
That's the only thing I should not touch.
You're so knowledgeable, Uriel.
Is there a way to
It's
like
a stick.
turn it off?
I've never used one of these, but like other people that I've known have used them, and that's all I know. Is a little stick thing at the bottom.
Is
You
there a way
don't-
to like make it so that the stick thing won't accidentally move? You know,
A safety.
Uh,
A safety what?
Oh, it's just called a safety in my database.
Is there one of them?
I think just maybe just don't put your finger on the
Oh,
stick. Put your finger like near the stick.
They might. Okay, I'll try and look threatening while putting
And
my
don't
finger near
and don't
the
check
stick.
if there's anything stuck in it by looking into it. That's dangerous.
Oh my
it
gosh.
says so.
Tenebris is like holding this thing like it's like a tiger, just like.
Like a tiger.
Yes, tigers.
Oh my god! Ah!
Why am I holding it? Oh no! Run
I'm
away!
delicate.
Right. We should keep going, and stop screaming about tigers.
Oh, yeah. Also, we
What's
should.
a
sneak.
tiger?
What? I'll show you. What? No.
While you're doing that, all three of you roll me a stealth check as you
we
creep
don't
down
have
this
passes trays anymore.
long metal tunnel,
That
this walkway that you've been chopping down.
Oh no, mine was bad
Really?
too. 10.
14.
Oh no.
14, 10 in that one. You feel pretty confident that you're going to be stealthy
Feel
as
great.
you move down
Real
this tunnel.
themselves.
Feeling good about it, you know.
Moving
jangling
quickly
the
now, Uriel.
rows of like tools that are just like the kids in Jurassic Park in the kitchen, just knocking ladles off.
Bang, 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 bang.
You move down this long, darkened corridor. It seems to go on for minutes and minutes, almost hours. You don't know how long you've walked. It's almost pitch black in here, or you get a slight motes of light coming in through the holes in the hull. You progress, walking down this walkway. Eventually, you come to a large chamber. In it, you see a massive piece of equipment. Uriel, looking at it, you immediately recognize it for an engine. Something that ships that normally stay within solar systems might use. You've worked on engines like this, you've maintained them before. The whole back of this engine room has been torn away as the ship seems to have just crashed and slid along the inner side of the Martinsbane space station. So it's torn away. And you can see the now vertical concave surface of the station in front of you. As it's been torn away, it's started to fall apart and break, and you realise that the ship itself is held in there. But in order to reach the inner surface of the Martinsbane space station, where you see the entrance point that you're looking to reach, you'll have to traverse torn away bits of this frigate. You'll have to traverse walkways that seem to be shattered and partially broken. You can see that it all looks unstable and difficult.
How far is it? Like, what vaguely, what kind of distance?
The entrance to the side, the circular portal that will take you out of the main cavern of Martinsbane and towards your destination, Uriel, is 100 feet away. Through this mess of cabling and what looks like metal bars.
And if we fall out of the spaceship down to the...
You look down, and beneath you see dead drop, and it's at least 200 meters before you even start to hit the inside of the ship.
Our jump distance isn't 50 feet, is it?
No, it wouldn't be. I have something I can do if everything goes very wrong.
I mean, it feels like it's kind of gone very wrong at this point.
No, if we try and cross and that fails.
Then what will you do?
I can create a plant that will help. It's very scientific, you see. I will very rapidly grow a vine.
Giant beanstalk, if you will.
That I might be, in something like that, yes. That might be able to save us.
So if we fall,
but it seems dangerous.
Can catch us, right? All of us, or will we die?
More one.
Well, if I fall...
Well, no, I could continuously help people for a while with this plant, but
if I fall, I could probably put some extra battery into my leg servos, and I could probably absorb some of the fall damage. But
no, it's okay. I can.
Oh my gosh.
So how far do we need to travel on it?
100 feet away.
100 feet.
It was very strange that we never adopted the metric system, despite being a spacefaring civilization.
It is strange, isn't it? But it's almost like there's a set of rules that we should follow, and it's just lots easier if we just say everything in feet, so that when we all reference our rules, we can get
Is
them
it
right.
my feet? Is it Tenebris's feet? Tenebris is like a size 5.
Yeah,
5 of what? I actually don't know. It's like 5 barleycorns wide.
What's a barleycorn?
Basically, you always
like
reference Uriel's rope belt as your measure of distance. You have no other reference point, and that
it's a belt away.
Of the rope
A belt?
manufacturer.
Oh, one belt. I understand. We do have the belt. Let's not forget the belt.
It's like 25
Uriel,
belts
take
from
your
here.
belt
It's going to
off.
take ages to get there. Yeah, but if it's 100 feet, then we can't tie a knot in it.
No, but we can tie to each other. And then if one of us falls...
Oh, we did do this before. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uriel's going to look down.
How did that go for us?
It was fine.
It was that was
that
actually
wasn't
fine.
the one that went wrong.
Okay.
It was when I was a panther that everything went badly.
Yeah, Uriel's going to look down, look up at the side, look at each of you, sigh, take the belt off.
Yes! Infinity averts her eyes.
Belt for the rescue as well. Again,
We should all get belts, really.
At least there's no
belts.
breeze in here. It's that's the great thing about Martinsbane is like the climate is kept very static. There's no
it is very lovely.
disordered and
Lovely,
chaotic down
Uriel.
here, and it's
What a beautiful place.
I'm going to druidcraft a little like puff of wind just to make Uriel's
he's
to make Uriel freak out. that
Uriel
there's
is
wind
absolutely
somewhere.
going to Marilyn Monroe that shit. Oh! If I still was making custom thumbnails, that would absolutely be one.
Ooh.
Right.
Infinity and Tenebris stand there like Jack Lemmon and I can't remember the other actor's name.
Is it A Gentleman Prefer Blondes? Is that film?
No, it's Some Like It Hot.
7 Uriel.
Oh,
No, it's Some Like It Hot.
It's Some Like It Hot.
but yeah, tidies around yourself. At least we can, like, you know, if one of us falls, we can do something about it.
Right.
But can you please, the next time that we are near a belt shop, please get a belt.
Yes, we did talk about doing that, but just we didn't. Or just, you know, a rope would be normal, a normal thing for adventurers to have. Adventurers, why would I call us that? How strange. We're archaeologists. Right, shall we? Oh wait, hang on.
Is there anything?
Tenebris.
Yes.
Just touch her on the shoulder. I really do believe in you. And I'll cast guidance. You get a D4.
You believe in my climbing skills?
I do. I think you'll be a lot better than you were last time that we did any climbing. Because you've had practice now. It makes sense.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
And you know what? Sometimes just the kind words of a good friend can make you better at things. Guidance.
Actually, you know, once when I was little, I fell off this whole cliff and I was in this
Really?
cave. And that's actually that's actually when I met my friends. So I guess if I hadn't been bad at climbing, I wouldn't have met them.
Oh, we should tell that story sometime. Maybe not now, but maybe later. Okay.
Oh, hang on.
While Uriel is having this moment, before you all attempt to do what you're going to do, so this is a complex area, and it's full of intersecting metal bars, intersecting sort of like broken off walkways, and various kind of wires and cables hanging down. So there are different ways of approaching it. So before you go, have a think about how you would like to approach it.
What looks the
using what
safest?
So you'll get mechanically, you'll get a check that you can make to do this, and the check that you make will depend on how you approach the problem. Feel free to have a look around and sort of interrogate the situation if you want.
I'm going to be going for balancing and very, very careful treading and like just slow, steady, careful, like not making any sudden moves. Hoping the ground doesn't get me. Yeah.
Tenebris, you can see that the entrance that you're aiming for is somewhere beneath you.
Oh,
and you could see that by balancing your way and hopping and jumping at key moments, you might be able to nimbly hop your way down to where you're headed.
Yeah. Get close to it at least. I don't want to go first, though. I don't want to go first. I look around at the others like, who's going to go
I'll
first?
go first.
Okay.
Wait, hang on. If we're all tied together, that means that we all have to go the same route, right?
We have to
At least
not be.
close
No,
to
we
each
just have to be within, less than 100, 80 feet of each other at all times.
I think it's 50 feet, so I
Oh,
think.
it's
Yeah.
Okay.
But I would like to sort of investigate like what looks solid, and then step on that, and then like do a scan, and and just maybe make an investigation. And I'll go first and try and like
incredible
look with my machine eyes and try and work out. Oh, that bit looks a lot more solid. That one's lost a link. So we should do this, and here we should swing on this rope. And
is there any particular talent that Infinity has which could do this, or are you just going to go for
investigation? That's what I'm
just
asking
straight
for.
investigation?
I don't think I've got anything I can help with on that.
All right, great. Roll an investigation check.
Oh, that's good. 23.
With a 23, you scope out what looks to you to be the main access routes to the engine room. So looking around at the design of the engine room, you see where the major supportive struts would be, things which to you would seem like they would take a lot of weight and would be difficult to break. You add that together with what looks like the remains of the engine itself, using the outer casing, which you assume would also be very hard, and you plot a route down towards the door. And with that roll, if you want to start going, you can make your way down in that direction.
Begin my way.
And because the rest of you are following Infinity, and this was such a high roll, you guys can roll with advantage with what you want to do next.
I will go in the middle, please. Uriel?
You're already attached in the middle, so that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Tenebris, roll a dexterity check.
Not acrobatics, just dexterity. It's the same.
Acrobatics, yeah. You can roll acrobatics.
It's the same. 18.
18.
Remember, you've got guidance.
Skip.
18 without the guidance.
Yeah.
A hop and a skip, you start moving alongside the path that Infinity takes. You can see that while she's plotting a very careful course using handholds that you can't quite see, you can use parts of them, and at the same time your natural grace to jump from side to side. And as long as you keep moving, you think you'll be all right. Infinity, you're progressing further and further, getting closer and closer to the door. You can just start to see around the edge of it into the darkness of this cavern. Tenebris, you're behind her. Uriel, it's now or never. You have to go.
Uriel Uriel, this is like being in a place that they're very familiar with, but it being upside down, and there are new rules that they are not familiar with. So it's just a little uncagey about the whole thing, but it's going to follow in Tenebris's handhold and foothold.
And so are you...
Well, yes, sorry, it's going via...
The same route.
Yeah, the same route is what I mean.
Got it. Okay, roll another dexterity check.
Was this with advantage, did you say?
Yes, it is.
Okay. That is an 18.
You follow Tenebris. As you are all approaching this doorway, Tenebris, your headache has come back. After this brief moment of respite that you felt, it's come back almost with a vengeance. And as you are concentrating, for a second, your foot slips. And you release control, this tightly held control you've had over your friends, and you feel your mind suddenly unlock. You now cast the spell Detect Thoughts, and it will go to the nearest person to you. Who is it?
Uriel, I guess, because you're following my path. Supposed to be on the other side.
Images, shapes, sounds flash into your head. Uriel, what does she see?
Is this
Remember, these are surface thoughts.
Is this visible? Like, is this something that Uriel would see flash out from Tenebris?
No. You don't see this happen.
Right. Uriel's surface level thoughts right now are: don't fall, don't look down, don't look down, don't fall. Oh, it really hurt from earlier. Fine, don't look weak. Don't look weak in front of Infinity. You can't know. Okay, right.
Tenebris,
Keep a hold on.
You, as this is happening, you hear this voice in your head. You're concentrating. You hear it, and you can't stop the urge to look deeper. Uriel, roll a wisdom saving
Let's
throw.
go. I love this so much.
Wisdom
Great
saving throw. That is a 10.
That does not pass.
Uriel, what is under your surface thoughts?
You lost it. Cannot. Time. Place. Cannot get emotional for them. Not right. This is not the way you do things. Come on, get it together.
What images does Tenebris see?
Like red tinted, zoomed in on the person or the people that attacked them just recently. Like an anger tinted vision of that, and a retinal flash of Martinsbane hitting Gunka. That's seared on like an after image vision, and that perspective from space of seeing everything come crashing down and come falling through the atmosphere.
Tenebris, you receive all of this. It catches your breath. And then, like that, it's gone.
Can I check? Because we discussed this earlier, but I can't remember. When that happens, it does use up one of my spell slots, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does it? How much do you want to do? How much do you want to have it stick to the rules of the spell? Like, so for example, in this case, like the fact that
it does. So it would stick to the letter of the rules.
Apart
so
from the fact that in this case it wasn't like visible that I was casting. Or
yeah.
Use up.
Yeah.
Okay. That was the only thing.
That's cool.
So at this point,
so
Uriel,
you feel this basically, like as we're going deeper, like you feel like something else is there. You feel like something else is like digging and probing inside, and kind of like this sort of brief sense of it being all around you and kind of enclosing in, and you can make an intelligence check to stop it, or you said it stopped already, didn't you? Actually, Ali?
Yeah. So we'll say for the sake of this that for however long it goes on, these are the sets of thoughts that you get, and then you're out.
But you feel it suddenly, and then I think it stops.
And I think you are aware of who has cast it. Is that correct?
That's a good question. Let me just double check that.
As we move through this, all three of you make it to this portal in the side of the Martinsbane cavern. In front of you, you see a dark corridor. I'm taking from that chance that yes, Uriel, you do.
Yeah,
know.
I think Tenebris would also like stop and look round at you as well because you're behind her, and then just like look, and I think then just sort of carry on.
Hen? You're right down there?
Yes, are you all right?
Yeah, I'm fine. I thought I felt the friends thing again. You're trying to make me calm. Now's a great time, but it's not working.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay. I'll do it later. Sorry, Uriel.
All right. Thank you.
I'm doing well too.
Great.
You all reach the edge of this portal, and you stand on the threshold. In front of you is a long, dark tunnel. You can see bits of shattered machinery and broken metalwork and pipework sticking out of the side. Uriel, you know what you're looking for. This is one of the spokes, so it is much smaller than the central axle that you've been in, but it's still very large. But Uriel, you know that dotted along the side of these will be doors that connect these spokes.
Mm-hmm.
You press forward until, Uriel, you catch sight of one of these sideway doors. And alongside it, you see something glowing with a slight fluorescence in the darkness. Symbol of a cog.
That's it. That's what we're looking for.
Uriel, what are we looking for?
This is there's a series of connecting tunnels that go through Martinsbane that will bring us to the center, the part that's going to survive re-entry. The people that I believe are still alive are going to be in there. That's the entrance.
Right. Okay, let's go. Is there anything we should be worried about as we go through?
You definitely not. And no, you're probably all right. I'll explain.
I mean, sort of, security of any form.
Are we passing through any sections that would have had Armada level security? I suppose we would, wouldn't we?
Not yet.
Okay.
I mean, everything is obviously it's an Armada ship, but nothing which has high levels of security, the kind that you would know about. Infinity, your passive perception is something crazy, right?
Whose passive perception?
Oh, mine, yeah, 18.
Yeah. As you're walking, you get that same sensation of being watched.
Uriel, are there cameras in here that might be operational?
I mean, possibly. There are security protocols all over Martinsbane. They're only going to get more intense the closer we get to the center. But
Someone's watching us.
Would make sense if they were. They probably couldn't do much about us if they were aware of us. They're probably trapped in the center.
Okay.
You push on. You're now traveling between the spokes. You enter this very tight corridor. You move through it.
Uriel, Uriel, do you think should I do the thing again so we're more hidden? Or do you think it's not worth it?
The people that I was worried about were the people on the outside. The people on the inside should be happy to see us, so I don't think we need it.
Okay. Sounds good.
You walk on. All around you, it's the singed scent of burnt rubber, but also you just start to get the scent of earth and loam. And you see that little tiny patches of soil have formed on the floor where rips in this tube-like pathway have opened up to the earth. Uriel, you see again on the side wall another cog. And you all move through this passageway and you come out to another axle. This one is tighter. You can see on the walls there are 3 walkways walking down this major axle, but on the walls you can see lots and lots of different readouts, shattered screens and various bits of equipment that seem more experimental in nature. Looking to your left, you see all the way down a light at the end, and it seems to be the entryway to another part of the main axle. On the other side, from where you have entered this spoke, Uriel, you see again the cog, this time next to a small, unassuming doorway.
That's the one. Keep going in that direction.
Okay.
Can I just detect if we're are we being followed? What's happening around us?
Make a your knowledge of this ship is great. You would know how people move through it and what that sounds like. So roll a perception check, but add your proficiency modifier if you are not already proficient in perception.
So is that that's a plus?
It'll have a little dot if you're proficient.
Yeah. I'm not.
+3.
But an extra +3. Okay.
Yeah.
Perception 22.
Let's go.
Yes, you know you're not being followed. Whatever was there that you were dealing with before in that other main room, you've left that behind. But with that perception roll, what you do hear is activity in the major room to your left, where it seems like your pathway might take you. But before you go there, you're headed towards this room marked with the cog. Is that correct?
Yeah. Before we go in, look, we're going to go to a part of Martinsbane that most people don't go to, and
Exciting!
It's exciting for me, but it's more just if they're hostile towards you, it's because you're not part of the. You're not part of the.
We're not from here.
Exactly, you're not from here, and just you're going to see things that you may see things. Hopefully, you see things that they survived that most people don't get to see and shouldn't see. So, just
I understand secrets.
Yeah, this is good. This is a secret. Okay.
DnDebrief, maybe you should stay behind me.
I'll hide at the back.
You walk up to this door. Uriel, you recognize it. The palm reader's there.
Interface with it.
You place your metal hand on it. A sound you feared you'd never hear again. The door slowly opens, and inside you all see two figures. Dwarves, cybernetically enhanced to work in the rigorous conditions of 0G. One of them is much older. They appear to be almost completely replaced and modded with parts. Their arms, their legs, metal girders. Their feet appear to be almost hoof-like pistons and suction caps, but the face is still human. They have long, grey dreadlocks that comes down the back of their head, and they're leaning on the side of the room. The room itself is little more than a broom closet filled with janitorial supplies. Next to that old man, you see another figure. Half their face replaced with a metallic mask, the cyborg eye in it turning to face you. A woman of about your age, Uriel. And then behind you, Uriel, as you're the first in, you hear and a figure lands behind you and
Wait, it's me!
What?
Ali, your mic, Zoom is cutting out any of the noises that you're making at that point.
Theatre of the mind is doing a lot of lifting right now.
Don't want to know. There we go.
Shall I get him? And then you see the old man turn. Wait, Uriel.
Dafkill, it's me.
Uriel, you stand down, brother Armoros. Stand down. Whoa, it's Uriel, is it? Oh, bro, what? This is the one who comes. This is it.
I'm as disappointed to see you as you are to see me. All right.
Oh yeah, sure.
Is this all that's left?
Oh yeah, well, some of us have been down here trying to actually do something about it. Maybe there'd have been more or less if other people got a bit of a move on. What do you think, yeah?
I have been trying to get back here from the moment I got planetside.
It's true, he has.
Not been trying very... What?
This is
my lady.
This is my friend.
Oh no, you don't need to do that. Uriel, they're doing the thing that you did. Can you stop them?
It's very difficult to not do it. You wouldn't...
You see, the older man also kneels. It's very difficult for them.
No, you really don't have to. Are you okay?
I'm all right, my lady. But the woman stays standing, appraising both of you.
I am here too, but I am biological. Please don't be angry at me. Thank you.
No.
She's all right. She's weak and biological and squishy.
Uriel.
But she's all right.
I'm weak and biological. Yes.
You're not weak,
so
you're very strong.
Traveling around with pure biologics now.
Well,
colour me surprised, eh?
Uriel, do you want me to kill this person?
No, Infinity. Look, if it were Armoros, I'll have you know that if it wasn't for Tenebris here, I would not be back talking to you, and I would not be as advanced as I would be. I've learned a lot from these two, mostly from Infinity, but I have learned a lot.
I helped a little.
She helped
Tenebris
a lot.
did.
Armoros, who you now see has basically an entirely metal torso, but with human arms, kind of like the reverse of what Uriel has.
Anti-Uriel.
Leans in and goes, "Oh, sounds like you might have feelings."
I have not got feelings.
Squishy one. All right.
Turn back to Zafkiel. Zafkiel, have the techs survived?
It's a tricky one, Uriel. You see, like, we don't know what's happened in the main chamber in the temple. It's been cut off, you see.
Oh,
and you can see that he's trying to get back up now.
I'll help him up.
His legs shaking.
Thank you. Cog. Thank Cog. Yes.
It's been cut off. How far along was it?
It's not far from here. You're quite central now. Has it been so long you forgot already?
No. How far in the temple? How far along is it? Was it close to completion?
You speak of Minerva.
Minerva.
Yeah,
McGonagall.
indeed, she was close to sentience. We were close, but I do not know what has happened to her now. She's in danger. We got to get in there. We got to do something about it.
Well, obviously we've got
to.
And it's like tampers down his emotions. Like, obviously we've got to get in there. Minerva's safety is paramount. But obviously
Uriel,
you have.
who's Minerva?
It's easier if I explain later. It's best if you see. You're gonna have to see. Staffkill, they're gonna have to go in if I'm gonna go in and see what's going on. They're gonna have to see.
Whoa, I don't. You would not let the uninitiated in, Joe.
Infinity is purer than any of us here.
I'm a robot.
I can close my eyes if that would help.
Tenebris can just stay outside and turn away.
No, Tenebris comes in if I'm coming in.
I'll just close my eyes. I'll listen. I'll hold Infinity's hand. I won't see anything.
And he scratches his head, and as he does it, you see, for a second, a single hexagonal bent piece of metal slips out from beneath his collar and hangs for a second, dangling before he puts it back in.
Well, do they have any utility?
They have utility, that's for sure. Their feature set is pretty comprehensive.
I'm gonna cast Produce Flame and just hold like a little bit of flame in my hand. See?
Infinity has features that I've never seen before.
I can turn into a panther.
She is indeed endowed with great utility.
Thank you.
Sorry. I just didn't think about it. Oh god. Oh wow. I've gone corn red. Oh gosh, my podcast is
right now.
Simon.
Oh, I did not.
Simon, unlike Uriel, so pretty much not so good at keeping a lid on
Uriel
it
is a
when-
skull white. I am a corn red
I
right
imagine
now.
some sort of innuendo may have happened several minutes ago.
I did not think of it in terms of. I was thinking software, not hardware.
Stop.
Oh god. As you the older man, Safkiel, as he's saying this to you, you can see that he's looking at Infinity and nodding slightly, and you see that you can hear a sort of grunt of disapproval. Well, what about her then? What about this one? Well, surely she can't be allowed in. We can't be letting every which way in. What's she gonna do about it?
Would you rather tempers down emotions again? Like, would you rather that Minerva comes to consciousness and finds that we have not helped her in every way that we possibly can?
Well, what exactly does she do then? You know what? I think I'll take a closer look.
And he pushes you out of the way, Uriel, and stands and looks straight into your eyes, Tenebris.
Infinity will immediately stand behind Tenebris and cast Shillelagh.
No.
I really want to.
Fuck him up.
Can I? No, I'm not gonna fuck him up. I am gonna cast True Strike on him though. It doesn't do anything. It's
a
fine.
notoriously shit spell. However, this is a
fine.
great use.
So Tenebris, like looking, is just gonna like gently like raise a finger and point at this person standing directly in front of me, and it's just this little cantrip. It's just so I'm not like full on probing. I'm not like getting into his head, but I'm just getting the slightest sense of like, you know, is defenses. It gives me attack advantage if I did attack him. But
Would it be fair to say that
thematically, I'm trying to resist casting Detect Thoughts or anything stronger than just doing a gentle probe.
Would it be fair to say that as you do this, he is very slightly surrounded by a thin layer of illumination, such that it might make you easy to hit him with an attack?
Oh, let's say that.
A thin layer of green.
Fairy fire, though, isn't it?
It is kind of
Well,
fairy
but it does the
fire.
same thing. It's an advantage on attack, right?
Like the
Fairy
VATS,
fire is an advantage for anyone,
it's the VAT
whereas
system
True
in
Strike is just
Okay.
for you.
All right. Well, then
Like,
let's
I guess it
forget
could be like a probing into the mind to make.
I was thinking of it as more, as more of a psychological,
Okay.
like, what are you about to do, basically?
Mm.
Like,
And does that
I'm
have
ready
verbal
for
and
him.
what
then.
components does that have?
Somatic only.
Somatic
It's a
only.
little cantrip.
As you do this and you peer into the workings of his body and his mind, he sees the finger come up and inherently takes a slight step back. If you had a base level like passive intimidation, which you don't have, right? But essentially Tenebris is starting to carry around with her this aura. Something is not quite right, and the closer Armoros gets, the more he feels it. He steps back slightly.
Oh, there's something not right with her.
You could be
What
very
is it?
useful.
I feel like there's something not quite right with you, and I think it's your attitude.
No, something not quite right with you.
Uriel is absolutely resisting temptation to be like,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What's wrong with my face?
Nothing, my lady.
Don't you dare say anything against her, Armoros. It's gonna.
Right, what we're going to do? We're just wasting time here, aren't we? Classic Uriel, just talk. We're going to do something, Zafkiel. We're going to go
Uriel,
now,
I can just
right?
bonk him on the head if you'd like
Armoros.
me to.
I'm further along the path to enlightenment than you now. Better watch your steps. I'm going to move over to Zafkiel, like, very, like, sort of whisper conversation. Or, very quiet. Just, Zafkiel, I felt things when I saw Martinsbane, and I've been weak.
No, my son, you felt nothing. No, you felt nothing. It's simply a happening. We all felt nothing.
It passed. I came here as soon as I could, but motivated entirely by utility and what was necessary. It was nothing more than that.
Cog dictates. You are correct. We follow the.
We followed the sixfold path. I know.
We follow.
I'm going to look up and look at Sahakiel and just be like, "It is gratifying, Sahakiel, that you have made it through. I'm sure that you'll be very useful to us."
Sahakiel looks at you and roll an insight check.
Can I just check? Zahaquiel is the one with the half face of the cyborg.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Right.
Oh,
Oh, hello.
And Armorus is the other dwarf.
Oh, that's Zafkiel.
Armoros is basically
the old guy.
Zafkiel is the old
dwarf.
man who's the old dwarf.
Yeah.
Sahaquiel
Sahaquiel,
is
got it,
This half
the
and
lady
half.
dwarf
woman,
Yeah.
who is
yeah.
half
And
down the center.
and Armorus is the other male dwarf.
It's like the obverse of Uriel. Yeah.
Got you. Yeah.
Okay,
that
have
was
we got those genders right?
And sorry, can I
Are the
just?
others both- sorry.
And it's
Yes.
it's- sorry, go on.
Go ahead.
I was-
Sahaquiel is a woman, and Armoros and Zafkiel are both men.
Great. And it was Armorus who had the hexagonal sort of chain
You saw
that we saw. Yeah. Okay. Great.
That was a 23 for the insight check.
23. You catch her eye. You know Sahaquiel, one of your sisters in the cult. But you see behind her eyes something new. You read the micro expressions of her face, and you see them soften for a second looking at you. Something is different about her. And with a 23, you sense the tonal shift in her voice as she addresses you next, and you realize that she is allowing herself to feel. she's hiding it for these two, but you feel that you can read between the lines.
Is it Uriel's ex-girlfriend?
Uriel, it's good to see you because it enhances our utility. I would hope that I too could add something to that. And then Armorous steps in. Nah, it's me, alright? I am the most trained. I am the greatest traitor here. I am the one who will go with you to right the wrongs of this disaster.
There is, Brother Armoros, there are 6 sides to the hex. There are 6 present here. We are in balance. No need for conflict. We just need to get to Minerva, find out what has happened.
I'm afraid it would that I could come with you, brother. But we have only passes for 4. We have retrieved what we can, but only 4 people may make it through to the main chamber.
Very well. We truly have been tested. We will prove ourselves worthy and we will resume our place. Very well. We will take 3 of the passes. Who will be joining us?
Armorous steps forward.
It's got to be me. I've trained for this. I'm ready for this.
Punches the wall next to you.
Does anybody else want
Very
to join
strong.
us?
Any other options?
Tenebris has been looking like really withdrawn just for the last few minutes. I'm gonna just come up to the side of Uriel and just like really quietly be like, I don't have to come if it's a problem. I can go back. I don't mind. Like I'll just.
Tenebris, like. No, we're vaguely equivalent height, aren't we? Yeah.
Yeah.
You're pretty close.
Tenebris, look around to make sure that the other monks can't hear. You said in the forest that we were like a team. I feel like we're a team when it's all 3 of us. So I want you to be part of it. It's like kind of stiffen up again and slightly louder because you are of great utility to our purpose.
I wish Infinity had heard that. Happy team noises.
Okay. Sure. Thanks, Uriel.
Sahaquil looks to you, Uriel. Uriel, if you're going to go in there, you might think about bringing someone who can perhaps heal you, keep you strong.
I can heal him if he needs it, actually.
Okay, like, oh boy.
Sorry.
Sahaquil gives you a quick look, Infinity. Roll.
But it would be nice to have.
Insight.
My passive insight is 15.
Okay, that look is transmitting something, but you don't know quite what it is.
No, I just meant I also could do that. However, if you are Zahaquil, lovely to meet you. I'm Infinite Sky 6000, serial number 8691972 PMGB1530ML, and it would be lovely for you to come along, or this Armorous person. Can I have a look and see who I think would be more useful, just by sort of give him a size up?
Do that, jeez.
Give him a size up. Well, so it looks like to all of you that Armoros is strong with their fists, very similar to Uriel, basically the same in almost every aspect, but deeply opposed to the concept of Uriel. Whereas Sahaquil is clearly has much more utility, understands well the ways the machines work, and has many abilities, which to some might even seem like magic if they didn't fully understand them, and clearly can heal people.
I mean, to be fair, I spoke out of turn. I've been used to healing these two if they've needed it, and well, if there was someone else who might be capable of doing that, that would be useful, because it would mean I could potentially fill my data banks with spells that didn't require.
So Hack will...
Spells? What's a spell? With programs
really
that...
lost track of that one,
that one went...
It's
very... Data banks, fill them, because I can only pick certain programs to run each day.
your taskbar you only have so much RAM.
Yes, I only have so much RAM, and it would be useful to take away some of the things that are able to make people feel better.
So Hakuo has a very rich feature set. I feel like.
Oh, I'm sure she does.
Oh, for God's sake! Not again! Not again!
I'm sorry. No, sorry. I won't. I won't. That is so much more Emily trying to do
voice
comedy.
cuts in.
Uriel, I know this is a difficult choice, but you have to make it. You're the one who has to choose this, and you have to hurry. We have to get in there now.
We need to. Yes, you're quite right. We need to get to Minerva, and we need to help. So Hakwil, will you join us and help?
Always, Uriel. I will help you. As long as it is what you want.
It
Again,
is what I want, and it is also what the cog demands. It is the right thing to do. But also what I want, yes.
Glad, Uriel. I am glad that you feel this way.
I don't feel. Just logic dictates.
The sound of Armoros punching the table next to it, it shatters.
I will be here. I will hold the line. Someone's got to stay back, and it's going to be me.
That sounds like a very valiant job.
I'm imagining him as like is it Flash Thompson in like the first Spider-Man film, like the one that's played by the guy who plays D&D.
Vin Diesel.
No, Matt. Not Matt. Mercer, the absolutely jack guy who's married to Sophia Vergara.
Joe
Mercer. Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, that guy.
Oh, he's great.
Sarkwheel steps towards you, joins your
Nemesis
team,
looks
and
relieved at this choice, by the way.
at this point, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, let's see where you're going.
So exciting! Uriel's friend!
Not friends,
right?
not friends,
What
not
is
friends.
this?
Friend! Ex-girlfriend!
Scottish colleagues, my God.
They are co-running programs. Right,
See
we'll
you
take a
very
couple of
shortly.
minutes. We'll be back on the other side of this break.
So here we are in the insides of Martinsbane, this huge crashed space station. We have just met with some of Uriel's fellow workers aboard the ship. And you've taken another member of the party on board, Saharquil, the dwarf with half metal side to her, who appears to have some facility in the realm of healing and other such interesting abilities. Now, you are all stood in a cloakroom, essentially, or it's like a closet that's full of sort of different cleaning products and things like that. And one of the cupboards has been smashed in half by one of the other members of the people standing there.
One of.
The older man in front of you, almost all mechanical now, looks up.
Now, if you're gonna go in there and find Minerva and find out what's happened and do what's right, you'll need to know how to get there. Now, if you come out of this door and turn towards the central axle, what you will find is the experimental stations, the main laboratory set up. We have attempted to go through there. If you can traverse the laboratory, you will find another exit, much the same as what brought you here, which will bring you, hopefully, to the main temple chamber and Minerva herself. There is one problem. The reason we have not gone, we believe the Armada are in there.
What?
They have sent spies, they have sent hidden units, they have breached the Great Treaty. They are inside the ship. We believe they are searching for a way in through that door to bring them to the central chamber, but they don't have the access cards, only we do. You will need to find a way to get in there past them to reach that door on the other side of the chamber.
As
Is
soon
there not another route?
Not that we know of, no.
Okay.
Access to the temple is very strictly regulated. Only we know about it. As soon as Minerva is brought to sentience, we can write this. We can write all of this.
Uriel, the temple.
It's where it's where Uriel became Uriel. Where I started on my path. Where I was given my charge. It's easiest if you see
What is your
yourself.
charge?
You'll see it yourself.
And with that, all four of you, unless there's anything else you'd like to do.
No.
Zavkiel,
Good.
how did you end up in here? This looks like a storage facility. What happened to the chambers? Well, living quarters.
Brother,
And he looks up at you, and you see in this face, which you have always known to be simply flat, calm, and emotionless, the slight flicker of one side of the face.
we were driven out. Something is in here with us. When we upload to the systems, when we try and control them, we're met with static. We're met with a blinding light. We no longer have the intimate connection with the ship. And there is one thing. You said you felt when the ship came down. If I never see anything again, I must confess this to someone. I have felt fear. But not when this came down. I have seen something. Something in the workings of the station. Something I can barely credit. A face, Uriel. A demonic face. A face that laughed at me.
Martinsbane achieved sentience. Oh, that cannot be. It's not divine.
This was something else. Something preying on the circuits. Something living inside like a tapeworm, like a parasite. Something in here preying on ours, what we build.
Something
You
you're
have to
watching.
stop it, Uriel.
You can't hear this, Infinity.
Oh, okay, sorry.
You have to stop it. You have to stop it.
The void is my witness. We will right this. We have fallen from the path. We have felt, but we can rebuild. We will return. She will welcome us into her service if we do this. I know this.
See that you do.
Now, before you go on, you've been in this room now talking for almost an hour. Were you to wait a little bit longer, that would classify as a short rest if you wanted to take it,
I think
just mechanically speaking.
that would be a good idea.
Yeah, if you two need, if you want to, I can cast a spell on you.
Well, I mean,
But I can't get that back.
from a
in
narrative
short rest.
perspective, I mean, I feel like this is very much like it's like reaching a safe room within a game. It's like, we can relax. Guard
My
comes
question is,
down.
do you want to roll your hit dice and then I can see if I can cast Cure Wounds?
Well, I'm happy to take a short rest. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I don't need to.
Okay.
If it benefits Uriel, then yeah, let's do it.
Right. So is it as simple as pressing the short rest button?
Yeah, and then if you select the number of dice, so you remember you've used one already. So, and then just click
Right, so how
take
many...
short rest.
Well, I could restore a maximum of 27. So this feels like it would probably be a good time for a fair bit. So
I would try and get back to as much as you can.
all
all of them
do I
but
have to
one.
double click it? Fun. Relevant abilities have been reset.
Hmm.
I don't.
You should get your key points back as well.
Yeah, I think you get. Yeah, it's really good for you.
Yeah, I've got all my key
I
points
don't
back,
get-
but I.
Oh wait, do
not-
I get?
I have not healed.
Did you choose?
Did you
the right
did you
amount?
select the dice on when you clicked short rest?
Yeah, well, I've clicked short rest, automatically
Yeah.
apply healing with dice results,
Ah,
and I've selected
okay.
4 dice.
Oh, okay.
Or
Did you roll them though?
Sorry, I just assumed that it would do that for me.
It will roll it for you, but you have to click where it says this is new. Actually, I've only just seen.
There is there. You have to click on the dice, but roll them in your real
You
tray.
can roll in the real world and just apply it.
Sure, because
Yeah.
it's done everything else. So I'm
Oh,
getting.
D&D Beyond.
So
oh,
is
I
this?
get my wild shape back actually, so that's really good.
Is that?
I get one.
I've selected 4 dice. So is that 4d8 plus 2, or is that 4d8 plus?
Just 48,
8.
isn't it?
No. You add your.
So it's
You
1d4 plus 2 for each time I roll.
It's
a
not
dice.
D4. You should be
It's 1.
Oh, sorry,
D8
1d8.
plus
Is
two.
it? So it's 1d8
Yeah,
plus 2
yeah.
for each dice roll.
every time. Yeah. yeah.
Okay, so that's 4. Count along at home, people.
Aw.
Plus 6, so that's 10.
10.
Oh. Then.
Plus another 4
14.
14 hit points.
and 5.
19.
You
You could do another one if you wanted.
19 plus 8
I have another
is
3 to go, but I feel like it might be
27
wise to keep
hit
3 in the
points.
bank.
You've got another 2
You
to go,
just
'cause you've
healed-
already used one.
I'll keep those 2 in the
You
bank
healed
just in
20.
case.
Okay.
So it means if I use
So-
that spell, you can use one as well.
So I'm now up to 40 hit points for those keeping track at home.
Everybody ready?
Yeah. I didn't realise I got my wild shape back on a short rest, so I've got 2 again. That's good.
All right. You all, without turning back, you leave this room. So Harpwheel trailing behind you and you turn right down this corridor towards the illuminated space, which is coming at you with a sort of a low fluorescent glow. It's orange tinged with green as you walk forward until you reach the very edge of this. You reach the edge of the spoke and you look out at the room in front of you. And while I call it a room, it feels more like a huge, glistening cavern filled with massive, basically filled with strings of pearls. And what you're looking out into is a colossal chamber. From the ceiling hang glass globes, or what looks like glass, clear globes. And they hang down in beads all the way down to the floor. On the floor in front of you, so what you're looking out, and there's a stepladder which will take you down to ground level, and then the level is flat. And you can see that somewhere in the distance is the other side of this room, almost too far for you to actually see. And throughout the room, these strings, these beads of glass orbs, and they are all different sizes. Some much bigger than a human, some quite small. On the floor, at the ground level, so about 50 feet below you, what you can see is that it's covered in shattered glass and this sort of clear substance. And there's liquid over the floor and piles of... In some places they look like bodies. In other places it looks like machinery littering the floor. And you can see that to your right and to your left, you could travel either way. Straight in front of you, you can just about see, on the other side, the corresponding portal that you need to get through. And the last thing that you see, lit in this orangey green hazy lighting that seems to be emanating from the globes themselves in some places and some places from the floor, you can see 1 or 2 dark figures stalking around the room. And at the very back of the room, you think you can see a cluster of these figures. Last thing, while you're up here, everyone roll me a perception check.
I am rolling hot tonight. 25.
Near 18.
15.
Infinity. First, Infinity and Uriel. What you see, just looking at the movements, you can see that there are figures moving around this space, but they all seem to be leaving the central area quite empty. Infinity, what you see is that in the central zone, amongst the litter and debris and detritus that seems to have been smashed out of these orbs, there are dark shapes, the same shapes as the people walking around the room, seem to be lying on the floor. And in the direct center, you see something that appears to be... At first, you look at it and you think, that's just another artifact that appears to have come out of these globes. But on closer inspection, with that 25, you see that this thing is moving ever so slightly. Up and down, as though almost like it's breathing.
Breathing? Yeah. Okay.
Would Uriel have seen these globes before?
You know of this room, but you have never been in it. You know that this is the main storage zone for the experimental section of the space station. And one thing to be absolutely clear, which I don't think I was clear on before, is that each of these orbs has something in it. And those things are of different sizes.
Oh, I see. Cool.
Wait,
Right.
they're like somehow like a Christmas bauble meets with a nativity calendar. Advent calendar, even.
Sample well, but...
Uriel, how do you want to get through this? I think
As a team.
there are people on the floor. There are people at the edges. There are people at the other side. We can try and pretend we're on the same team as them until we get to the other side.
Well, I don't know
Or-
what these things are. Do they look human?
Oh yeah, that's a good question. I was assuming.
With that 18, Uriel, you recognize them. You can see that these are orcs. Now, the orcs
Oh.
are the genetically modified soldiers of the Armada, twisted, strengthened, and empowered beyond normal human strength. Yeah?
Was the tooth fairy carrying an orc?
No, this is not the same thing.
Right.
They clearly
Oh,
they were human, but now their faces are pulled back. Their eyes, well, you know this from the past, their eyes are taut slits, and their teeth have become jaws. Any weapon that is possible, huge hands, vast muscles. They are beasts, bred for war.
I can see the problem you ran into, Sahakwiel.
Too right.
Well, I can make us very quiet.
How much would Uriel know about orcs and like what they're sort of beyond the visible, like, whoa, holy shit, that thing looks strong.
Roll a history check.
That's 15.
Okay, with a 15, just hold that for a second.
Oh,
So you know they are tough, they are strong, they're not massively smart. But you also know that as Armada soldiers, they will tend to travel as a unit. So somewhere there will be a unit. They could send out scouts, but you know, they come as squads.
Nebris. I mean, orcs aren't the brightest on their own. Can you do something with the friends to make them, I don't know, feel like they've all got to go somewhere or something?
All of them at once.
Yeah, if you could, that would be great.
I don't think so. Only like a few at a time, or if they're like near each other, but it's not gonna be like, like one at a time, like quietly. If there was one in charge, they could tell the others.
Just thinking. When did thinking come into our campaign?
I know. So
Not
really,
relevant.
the only I can either make us very sneaky, or I can do a lot of damage to a lot of people. I'd rather we do the sneaky thing. Sneaky seems like a word that Infinity wouldn't say.
I could make it sneaky.
Sneaky.
This still looks like quite functional. Like this section of Martinsbane is still mostly intact.
Oh. What?
Yes, I mean apart from the smashed globes near the bottom.
But there's still
which do
some
look like-
hanging, right?
Oh, so in the central area, most of the things have been destroyed. Around the edges, or closer to the edges, yes, there are intact globes, still at ground height.
What if I broke some of the globes far away from us?
That could work. I was going to suggest that maybe I could try an interface and set off an alarm somewhere else. But I don't know. The last time I tried to interface with a large entity, I just ended up talking to a door for a bit.
How wide would you say this chamber is, Ali?
The chamber itself would be
In feet,
500
if you wouldn't mind.
meters.
How many belts would you say?
So it's 500 meters long from where you are to where you need to get to. In terms of how wide it is, the room is roughly square.
The 5 belts. Oh no, it's meters. So it's
Meters.
Yeah, meters.
15 belts.
So it's about 15 belts.
It's big.
That's a big room.
Okay.
Now I know
can't-
exactly how big it is. I know that's a big room. I'm going to start using that in real life. I actually don't know how long a belt is for humans. Like what? 3? How many feet? 4 feet?
Okay. If I do this, this is going to be a massive distraction about 120 feet away from us. Exactly, in fact.
I feel like that's not very far.
Not very far in context of the room. They might see.
Can I
See if any of them are thinking about looking for something, and then I could make them see it.
Is there somewhere
one
that
of
Uriel could interface with the machinery of this room?
There is another door panel.
God.
Is it Tom?
What?
It can't be Tom.
machinery- Are you looking for machinery which might have something to do with the globes themselves?
Yes.
Yeah, so around on the edges, and in fact at specific points throughout the room, there are control panels, right, and workstations that look sort of scientific in nature. So yeah, definitely. But you would have to go down.
You definitely just said workstations in your Stanley voice.
No one knows who Stanley is.
Okay, so for those people who haven't
Nobody
don't
trusts
know our
Stanley.
home campaign, that is basically think the Duke from Moulin Rouge. It's basically that.
No, it's exactly Ali's character.
Have to go
That's
and talk to
exactly
the-
who it
the
is.
stations.
That's not how he talks at
Very
all.
first time. It's the same energy as his character.
Same energy. Yeah.
So we'd have to go down into the room to be, and there's some more. So perhaps, okay, right. I've got an idea. Right, why don't we?
Moulin Rouge is also the RPGeeks' favourite film, just
Yep.
so everyone's aware.
Spectacular. Perhaps somebody should die.
Maharaj.
So right, I've got an idea. Maybe Infinity. Right, why don't you
yes.
do the thing where you make us really quiet, and
Yes.
then we can go down. I can try and talk to one of the control panels, and I can see if I can activate some of the systems on the other side of the room. That might draw them off, and
Right.
then we can use the stealthy, quiety thing, and then we can just try and sneak through. If there's anyone
That
left, then
sounds
we
good.
just punch them into pace.
Just yes, and just so you know, I can keep us stealthy until maybe if you want me to do something else, that might go away. But I can try and keep it up for as long as possible. So okay, Zahaquiel, don't panic about this. Okay, and I'll cast Pass
About
Without Trace
what?
again, and then the
About what?
The noise cancellation, and you see the projections of the sides of the tunnel being projected all over you. It's an eerie feeling, like you're looking at the wall, but the wall is right next to you, and you know it. Okay, you all have passed without trace.
Yeah.
Are you going down into the room?
Yeah, so if we go down into the room, we make for one of the control panels.
You start scaling the ladders. Everybody roll a stealth check.
plus 10.
Ladder stealth. Oh.
Plus 10. Holy, is that plus 10 and my modifier?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Holy shit.
Thank shit for that. I got a 22.
Oh, well, would you look at that? I got a 30.
Yeah, boy.
I
If
don't even know
anyone
I'm here.
desperately needs it, I do have. If someone rolls badly, I have a thing I can do as well.
Shamani's still got Tenebris has still got guidance.
You don't. It's concentration. But I can use my cosmic omen to give you a d6 if you would like
What
it.
did you get, Tenebris?
24.
Okay, I rolled.
24. Like a whisper, you move down the ladder, stepping between the shards of broken glass, stepping over the bodies of these strange, some of them creatures, some of them seem half creatures almost. You find a tentacle here, like long and thick, laid across your path. You gingerly step over it. Here, a still jerking robotic arm. You move into the room. You see on either side of you, in the distance, a figure, tall, black-clad, moving purposefully down through the rows of these orbs, looking from left to right. They scan the room. And keep moving. You make it towards the first of these access panels. You can, now that you're down at room level, you can see that what you're looking over, the floor is covered in all of this debris. And you can also see inside some of the intact globes. And you can see shapes, some of which seem humanoid, others which grotesquely different. It's a strange sight. And at the workstation that you come to, you can see that it is shunted to one side, that it's lying partially on the floor. But pooled at the bottom of it, you see instruments, some surgical, some electronic in nature. And next to all that, an access panel.
Right. Just kind of keep an eye out for me. I'm going to try and talk to it.
Right.
I'll go up and... But I like to imagine that Uriel sort of, that has the mechanical arm, and then there are sort of tiny dendrites in it that can sort of lock into a system, enable information transfer, and cast Speak with Plants. Speak with computers. But Speak with Plants.
Greetings. Hypothesis to test.
Ooh, thank you. My hypothesis is that if the laboratory were to be contaminated with military presence that was not welcome, what would be the optimal way to remove them from the building?
Hypothesis stated. Contamination protocol. Processing. State. Acceptable risk for samples.
Acceptable risk for samples is any risk whatsoever. Acceptable risk for scientists, pretty. I like, some risk is acceptable, but not very much risk.
Input scientist location.
Here, engaging with panel and in a radius approximately
30 feet.
1/10 of a belt.
Processing.
The SI unit of measurement now, the B.
The B for belt.
Suggested course of action. Military presence unwanted. Suggestion: release weapons grade subjects in presence of military protocol.
That's what I was gonna do.
Results are satisfactory. Can you localize release of subjects in the distal quarter of the room?
Subjects localized. Information readout commencing.
What is the volume of this display?
got pass actions.
It's coming in through your arm. It's loud in your head.
Okay, good. So I realised it's like playing a YouTube video in public and your phone's turned all the way up. Oh, fuck!
Yeah. Reading. Subjects display high levels of initial damage. Processing. Subject identified. Subject found in Promethean system. Subject used potentially for attack protocol. Subject description: larger than human, beast shape, potential horn damage, fast moving. Continued processing.
Subject sounds optimal.
Processing.
Subject could attack.
Potential security droid. Processing. Final possibility: unknown specimen. Label. Unknown.
How many subjects are in the distal quarter of this room?
Subject localization pre-given distal quarter. Question invalid. You have already selected subjects in the distal quarter of the room.
Well, release all subjects in distal quarter.
Uriel.
Processing.
Chaos.
Invalid command. I am simply a lab bench.
Sad.
Sad. Can't do that. That's okay.
When you clip this together, can you please zoom in on my face and do the Arrested Development? Oh, no, what's it? The what's that fucking? What's that fucking show called?
I don't know. Always Sunny?
No, not Arrested
No.
Development. The other one. People are going to be screaming this in chat.
Yep.
Directed by Robert B. Wide. That's all I remember. That it's.
Remembers the director.
You're going to have to really quickly look it up.
I am looking it up right now. Robert B. Wide meme. It's from.
Better be good.
Curb
Sunny.
Your Enthusiasm.
Oh, okay. Carrying on.
Okay, right. So returning to the bench. Give location of systems that would release all subjects in distal quarter.
System location distal. System location in proximity to subjects. System location distill section.
We're gonna. Okay. Basically, I just had a conversation. I really like this thing. Wait, no, I don't. This thing is satisfactory. The.
Oh.
I'm not talking to you.
You've upset it.
If we want to create a distraction in the other section of the room, we have to go to that section of the room.
Right.
I could create a distraction here, and it would probably be pretty chaotic, and might just be able to slip through. But I have no idea what would happen if I did it. Pretty big uncertainty.
Is it the kind of distraction that people would run towards or away from?
I wish I could tell you. It sounds like some of the subjects that are in containment here are very dangerous. Some of them would act aggressively.
Towards us?
I mean, let me put it like this. If I released the subjects in this quarter of the room, I feel like we wouldn't be the biggest problem of the orcs.
I mean, there's things I can do to help. Potentially. Or I could just save it all for stuff. Okay.
That bench. Do you have the capability of releasing subjects in this quarter of the room?
Processing. Affirmative.
I'm gonna look for visual confirmation from the party.
Why are you looking at us, Uriel?
Do you want me to kind of cause absolute fucking chaos in this bit of the room?
Then we run quickly but sneakily, and then we run through the door
We just
while
go
everyone is...
straight to the door. We do what you have to do, and we go straight to the door the minute they leave. And if they don't, we still head to the door.
Well, if they don't do that, then like I say, I don't think we're their biggest problem anymore. The hack wheel?
But are they our biggest problem anymore if you do this?
I mean, yeah, they'll be our biggest problem, but we're not very
Right.
difficult to see.
That's one way of looking at it. Okay.
The hack wheel? What do you think?
Not really my domain. If you think it's a good idea, then I suppose I'm with you.
Zahaquiel, just before we do this, I'll hand her one of the good berries that I have.
Oh.
That's very kind of you, thank
They
you.
can bring someone up if they go unconscious. It'll wake them up.
It's a clever trick indeed.
Okay.
It's quite advanced actually, but okay.
Wow. Okay, everyone. I'm not sure what's going to happen, but when it does, I think you're going to know it, and then we're just going to need to go towards the door, like the exit. Okay? Only 5 belts. That's all we got to go.
Only 5 belts. Okay, great.
Lab bench.
Yes.
Release all subjects under your jurisdiction.
Processing. 1 subject remains viable.
Describe
Subject designation. Parasite.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
Give further details of subject.
Subject emanated from deeper space. Subject found aboard meat storage vessel. Subject presumed humanoid in origin. Once.
Oh no! Ali, we're all freaking out, but no one knows why we're freaking.
No, I don't know why we're freaking out. I'm just freaking out anyway.
We're all just freaking out.
On the
That
off
sounds-
chance that...
You know why we're freaking out.
Oh, we cannot. Well, no
Barmy.
characters wouldn't know.
We have no idea.
Shamini doesn't know. Shamini's missing it.
If
Shamani's going to get a WhatsApp very soon.
If people have been with us from the very start of the RPGeeks project, they may recognise that parasite.
Oh, I remember.
Mhm.
Oh,
Potentially.
I remember.
Potentially.
She remembers. Oh, one shot.
Potentially that universe-ending parasite that we didn't kill. Oh shit!
Oh yeah.
Oh my god! What if it's one of our characters? Oh, anyway, it doesn't matter.
Okay, slight problem. It says there's only 1 subject, and it's a parasite. I don't think it's going to generate much of a distraction.
Parasites like small and like they go in your food and then they come out in your poo. And
Maybe,
it takes a long time.
maybe we're better off just stealthing.
So presumably,
Oh god, I'm so struggling to separate.
Are we not doing
character
the
and
plan?
player.
Is this not? Are we not going to do the plan? Is that our
Do you
So-
want to,
going to
do you want
release
to release a parasite? They're very dangerous.
further data has become
Can be.
available,
I
and
don't think they're that dangerous.
Some of them are.
the distraction would only be 1 parasite. Like, I was sort of hoping for
How
something
big
like...
is it?
We want a big thing.
We wanted,
Look,
like,
is it a
large
big
reptilian
parasite?
with horns.
Yeah.
or
Is it a
something.
worm or is it like?
Yes, ask how big it is, you.
How,
please, approximate
Lab
size.
bench, how big is the parasite?
Parasite, medium, human, size. Designation, dangerous.
It does say it's
We
dangerous.
can't release it again.
Look, okay. There's no harm in releasing it, right? We can still stealth. We'll release it. Set the timer to release it in 2 minutes, and we stealth away.
Wait.
Uriel,
Why don't we just go to another quarter?
And
Set a
we do
timer
the
on
same
the
thing
release.
again there.
I mean, as
but
long
we
as
know there's
Infinity...
one.
concentrate on keeping us stealthy.
Yes. I've got an hour.
Right.
Yeah.
My
We
vote-
release one here, then we stealth away. We can release another one if it's not working.
I vote for us to go to a different quarter of the room and we determine what the stock is of potential distractions there. But I do not think that this will be an adequate distraction.
One is not enough.
One
Okay.
is not enough. Okay, we'll find a different one. And we don't want to spread it out too much because we want them to all rush to one area. So
In
that
one
makes
go.
sense.
Like, we want
Yes,
them to
okay.
quickly have to go,
That's a good reason. That's a good in-character reason.
Annoyingly,
for
quite
us
a
to
good
do
reason.
that.
Fine.
Oh.
Blood Bench, thank you very much. Have a nice day.
Shit.
And you.
Don't tell me what to
Mate.
do.
May your hypotheses always be.
Right, so I propose that then we sneak over to the next quarter over. Probably the one that's furthest away from the entrance.
Right, I agree.
And then
So to the other side of the
set
room.
a time,
basically.
and then can
Yeah,
we, Infinity, can you set an internal timer for how long this journey takes?
Of course.
So to be clear, you have the central portion of the room.
Yep.
You have what we'll call the left-hand side of the room, and what we'll call the right-hand side. Of the
Okay,
room.
and
You're
we were
currently
in?
the central part of the room.
Let's go to the right.
Presuming that the door is on the left. That's how I imagined it.
No, the
so
door's
door
straight
is
across.
directly in front of
Yeah.
you.
Right.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Either way, we're going to
Let's
run
go
past
left.
them, I
Left is
think.
good. I like the left.
Oh,
Left is
okay.
my favourite.
Yes, left is fine.
I like going
You
left. It
make-
feels like you're making progress.
This is left is a good direction.
Why?
Always the
You
best.
make your way past the patrolling figure, who's now looking the other way and moving maybe 50 meters away from you down these rows of these orbs. You're moving quietly, stealthily. You pass orbs. Inside you see, refracted in the light, the glint of some sort of metal blade hanging in one of these smaller orbs. You push on. You've reached the left-hand side of the chamber. Infinity, you notice that where you've been picking your way through metallic debris, through bodies, through biological matter, you notice that you seem to have left the biological matter behind. There's just metallic items here.
Oh. Okay. There don't seem to be any creatures going this way.
It could be mechanical life forms. Maybe there's more infinities.
It wouldn't be a life form.
They're alive to me.
Thank you. I'm not. Thank you.
In front of you, you see straight down. It's basically a pathway between these globes that will take you down towards the side of the room that you're looking for.
Okay. Can I look in the globes as we go past? And see if I see biological or whether I just see mechanical in there.
That's easy enough to do. As you walk down, as you start walking, you see that in the globes that are still intact, there is biological life.
Okay. So
Fine.
we haven't just left the biological life; they just haven't coalesced in this area.
So I'll look for another control panel in section.
So you're moving down, right? So you're now you've entered the middle section. So to get to the other side, you'd have to keep going a little bit further. The stealth checks still stand, and you're still moving. But as this happens, I need you all to roll a wisdom saving throw. No, specifically, I need what is the order of the party?
Uriel will be going
Uriel
first.
will be first. I feel like probably then Infinity Tenebris. Zahacriel. Yeah. That's my vibe. But
Say again.
so Uriel, Infinity, Tenebris, Zahacriel.
Uriel. Roll me a wisdom saving throw.
With pleasure. Maybe not much pleasure. That was a nat 1. Or a 3.
Oh no, oh no, oh no.
You are walking forward, and something seems off. But you can't put your finger on it. And then your toe touches something. But it doesn't make any sense because there's nothing in front of you. And then you feel your toe being sucked in towards the space in front of you. And then you find your leg being pulled after it. At this point, I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Right. Okay.
You can do that. Come on, monkey.
I actually have a monk thing to do.
Monkey,
Also,
boy.
did you just does Uriel, when his toe starts getting pulled, wherever Uriel's toes get pulled,
Does he look like he's
Does he say
being
anything? Do
pulled?
you make
Does
sound?
Infinity go, oh no?
Yeah,
grabby,
I
grab.
mean,
If
you
make
know that you're
sound-
being sucked into this space.
Yes, here we go. So evasion, and I'm not sure which level this comes with. If I have to make a dex saving throw to take half damage, I take no damage if I.
It's damage though.
So I don't know if this is.
Yeah.
Dex saving throw coming right up. That's an 18.
You are. And suddenly you're completely engulfed in some sort of strange gelatinous fluid. But you have the wherewithal to wart and stretch and almost swim and you tumble out and land on the floor beside it.
Do we see that?
Loudly?
Yeah, you do see that. And you see in front of you, everyone, that what looked like just plain air suddenly ripples.
It's my favourite thing.
Now, I just need everybody to roll
Initiative?
the thing you do with... Thank you.
that thing you do.
That thing.
Roll for
you know.
leveling up.
Ooh, 19.
16.
And I
Okay.
got a synthetic 20.
Hello.
So,
Is there any disadvantage to doing to the things we're doing, given that we're trying to be very, very quiet doing them? What this whole like us
if you are
stealthing
right,
thing.
so if you are trying to stay quiet while this happens, you can do that and retain your stealth.
Yeah.
If you choose to roll with disadvantage,
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Cool.
So, Tenebris, what would you like to do?
Oh dear. I can kind of tell that there's something in front of me, right? But it's not
Yes.
a creature. It's not a humanoid anyway. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. I will try and find out if it has a mind by reaching out telepathically and saying, "Hello? Is someone there?"
Is it me you're looking for?
You reach out with your mind. Hello? 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 Is it me? Is it me? Is it me? Echoes around in the space. There doesn't appear to be much coming back to you.
Oh, I can cast darkness, but not silence.
That's your bonus action, correct?
That was a bonus action. Yeah. Can I? No, this is not super helpful. But can I cast? I want to make it dark between us and all the other people. Like how much can I create a shield that I can't stop us being loud, but I could stop them seeing us if they look over. But
It depends what you're trying to do.
It's only a 15-foot radius sphere, so I want to put a sphere.
Is this
somewhere.
dark?
50-foot radius as well.
Darkness, yeah.
Just to be clear, if you do that, there will suddenly be a sphere
I
of
don't want to put
darkness
it around us. I want to put it between us and the majority of the people. But are there other people
It will look
everywhere?
like there's suddenly a massive sphere of darkness. So, if what you're trying to do is
Maybe
be
more noticeable.
stealthy, that will
It will be the opposite,
Okay,
yeah.
fine.
But they won't see us.
They won't know what they're looking at. is
Don't
my
look
point.
at the
Yeah.
They'll
party
hear
behind the
something,
black
look
curtain.
over. and be
Yes.
like, What's that
Look at the
sphere
black
about?
thing, not the party behind it.
Um,
Thank you.
Oh dear. I mean,
I think we just gotta go for it.
We have to find.
can I see if there's a way round to go around the outside of it? This rippling air.
So you can make it through these orbs. You're not bound by this one pathway.
Okay, I'm gonna start making my way around the outside, and like maybe beckon to the folks behind me.
Okay, so you use your full movement to move around the side of the cube.
Stealthily. Slowly and stealthily.
Right, so you do that without any.
I'll use my action to just go a little bit further, just so I can get further.
So you get round to the edge of it, and it takes you your 30. So using your action as well. So it's action. You're dashing basically.
Yeah, because stealth slows us, right? So we're only going half speed because it's stealth. So I'm using my movement and my action, so it's that I'm moving 30 feet.
You can get all the way around it. Roll me another perception check.
Oh no. Okay. 16.
As you're moving around it, you see a shimmer in the air next to it.
Another one.
And just behind it, and behind it to the left, is another one of these.
And is there no way around that one?
Oh yeah, you can keep moving around it, but if you
I'm
hadn't seen
spotted
it, you would have
Okay,
gone
yeah,
straight.
Great. Okay, in that case, I will try and point it out to the people behind me and be like, yeah. I'm by pointing it out, I'm actually waving this rifle that I'm still holding, that I balanced this whole way with. I've been hugging it kind of like a baby, just like hugging it to myself, and now I'm just like pointing the point.
So you are now 30 feet away from this cube. Infinity.
Right. I see DnDebrief do that. And where is Uriel? Is he
presumably
on
on
the
the
other
ground.
side of the
Did he
cube?
come out?
Or
Yeah,
is
did he make it out?
did he go in and
roll me,
back to
roll me a
me?
d4.
Me? Yep.
Amazing.
Yep.
A 1, of course.
You are right the other side of it.
Uriel!
Oh god, it's like.
And can I see it now that it's
Yeah,
He's
you
gone
can
through
see
it.
this sort of shimmering wall of gelatin.
I will just sort of try and run around it, I think, because I don't think she'd necessarily know it was a thing. I think she'd just think it was a wall
Following
of gelatin.
DnDebrief,
Yeah.
are you stealthing or not?
I've still got pass without a trace up, so yes.
Okay. You move at half speed, 30 feet. You're alongside.
35 feet.
Oh. Uriel.
Look around for the others. Sahakwil's presumably still behind. Look up. Can I see the other two? 'Cause obviously they're
You
moving-
can see them through a kind of shifting wall of ooze.
like Uriel's going to try and what's the shimmy? What's it called? He like moves. He's going to sashay away. When you move laterally, like you're strafe. That's
Strafe.
it. Not shimmy. Uriel's now canonically going to shimmy around, try and see where the shimmering of the air stops, and when it stops, move past it to try and rejoin the other two.
Easy enough to do. You can, and with your half movement, you reach them. Sahakwil joins you behind them, and now the ooze, this blob, slowly.
Bad ooze.
But it can't reach you. It's about 15 feet away from you. So now, if you wish to keep going, you could start to outstrip it.
All right.
Go. Quietly.
And with that,
Dancing the
You
cha-cha-cha,
leave
the
this-
party.
Wait, so Hakuel's fine, right? She's
She
here.
came,
Sahakwil's
she
following
came with
you,
us.
she's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
you continue to move on, leaving these weird cuboid.
I wanted to fight it so bad.
I really didn't. I'm so glad.
Yeah, that would have gone very badly. I feel like.
I love a cube.
Worse.
And
They're
the-
so good.
The end of the room is now in sight. You have reached the far end of the room. You're to the left of where you need to head. You can see now to your right. So you're on the left, you're looking right. You can see a group of orcs, black clad in combat assault gear, stood around the ladders leading up to your exit point.
Oh, God.
And nearby where you're standing now, an access panel. And that is where we will leave it for tonight.
We'll leave the mouse trap just primed
Yeah.
and ready to go, full of monsters. Oh, it's gonna be like in my head, it's gonna be like
Hey.
Cabin in the Woods. You know, when they
They're-
release all of the.
Yes. Oh, that is what it's like. Oh, God.
They're fairly grouped together as well. You know, if there's one thing druids are good at, it's area of effect spells.
I've got one of my own as well, so I'm sure we could fuck them
Let's
up if we
go.
wanted to.
Right. Can we have some less creepy
Less
music?
terrifying.
Oh,
music.
it's so
I need
creepy.
more. I need more.
Do you want some super upbeat stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay,
Yeah, the
hold
dee-da,
on.
dee-da,
I've got
do-do.
something special for
Dee-da,
this.
dee-da.
Sure.
Oh, faintly. Yeah.
Hang on, I can do better. You just do what you're gonna do.
Well, I'm just gonna carry on. Thank you, everyone, who's joining us this evening. As we continue,
I'm not gonna show you too much.
through the depths of Martinsbane, trying to find who knows what with Uriel's ex, who knows who. Oh, the drama.
This bitch.
We are, as you all know, if you're watching us on Twitch,
I
streaming
can heal
live
too.
on Mondays. Yeah, you really, yeah. Infinity, calm down.
Infinity's never had jealousy before. It's very
Wow.
exciting.
Wow. We're streaming every Mondays, 7 o'clock UK time, but if that's not convenient for you, why not go to YouTube? Every day after we stream, we upload it to YouTube. We're also on all of the podcast platforms.
All the podcasts.
Thank you. If you're listening on a podcast, leave us a review because, that helps a lot.
It really does.
That'd be
Thanks,
great.
please.
And please make sure you are following us on your social media platform of choice, whether that's TikTok, Twitter, or Instagram. Mostly those three. We are
Or
at
all of them.
RPGeeks DnD.
DnD.
Give us a follow. We have some exciting merch. We will have more exciting merch coming soon.
Very true.
What's that address?
rpgeeks.tmail.com.
I am so excited.
TEEMILL.
I'm so excited to get the my t-shirt.
And hey, why not come to New Scientist Live and see us play games in person? Oh, that's right. On Sunday, the 9th of October. It's the day the train strike isn't on, so it's really easy for you to get there.
You got no excuse.
If you're in London, come on the 8th as well and see Simon do his talk, because
If you're in London on
train
the 7th,
strike.
you can't get back on the 8th, so just stay for the 9th anyway.
Correct.
Bates's address is.
No.
That's it for today. We will see you next week. Thank you all. You're wonderful. See you
Yeah.
later.
Bye.
Hog me with you. Right.
How much of your
Hey,
religion?
Twitchy.
Cogword.
Yeah.
Twitchy
For
twitches.
Twitch. Insider info for Twitch. How much of your religion was based around cog puns?
Not very much was based around cog puns.
Good
It's just,
cod.
it just so happens to be a good symbol for a mechanical religion.
It's a great
I'm
symbol.
cog.
A fair bit of what Ali and I were throwing around was pre-planned. That's quite a bit was definitely just improv just then.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah,
So
Simon's
good.
been going crazy. It's awesome. I'm
Recording
doing no
stopped.
work yet. Oh,
Thanks.
Sorry.
Thanks, Shirley Bates.
It just takes a really long time to process afterwards, so the sooner I stop it, the better.
Sooner the better.
Also,
thanks
I did not realize. I mean, we're a group of people with of pretty features I've never seen before. That just did not click with me in
to
the
be honest,
slightest.
it didn't with me
Fine.
until you started laughing, and then I just immediately went.
that was pretty brutal.
Infinity's got features I've never seen before.
Oh dear.
Yeah, sometimes it's
Love
so
it.
ingrained in me I don't even realize I'm doing it. That's that's how immature I am.
That's what she said.
Oh, for God's sakes. That was fun though. This is
That was fun.
building up to something.
Like, yeah.
Hence
Big
is what
Uriel.
that was.
This is so exciting. Ali, was it a gelatinous cube? I wanted to fight it so bad. I love them.
Oh,
They're so
squishy,
terrifying.
squishy cube.
Also,
Oh.
holy shit, the parasite. I'm very happy.
It was,
Maybe
Ali.
it's wrong, yeah.
It was right. You've got to say
I
if it was.
can't tell you.
Oh.
I can't.
But like, what if
I
it's
mean, that
like
would
one
have
of our
been-
characters?
If you missed that one shot, I have a feeling that one shot is not in fact on our YouTube channel. But
It's
is
not.
Still on Simon's.
It is on
channel.
I
Simon's
think
Twitch.
it's on my Twitch as a video on demand. Yeah.
I know it is because I was looking at it earlier
if
to
you
get
go to
for reasons.
twitch.tv/Dr. Simon Clark.
You can watch the first ever game we played on Twitch.
Yeah.
And you,
first ever first episode.
that was a fun game. My God, with the cow.
Captain Cow.
Yeah,
Captain Cow.
the cow and the
great.
parasites. Look, it's spoilers for the game, but the fact we freaked out about the parasites because we kind of fucked up with the parasite in that first game, and there was a potential for us to fuck up again. And is Ali just putting this parasite in every game we play? So eventually that entire universe just gets overrun. I don't know, probably. So
Yeah.
It's the world-ending card that you draw from the deck. Of just like, well, okay, we now live in
Well,
a doomed
'cause
world.
in the other one, we were like, well, it's a one shot, so it's fine. We can just
consistent universe. One.
yeah.
Also, like, I am a lab bench is up there with one of my favorite quotes in this entire campaign.
Oh man, you need to talk to more machines,
Yeah.
a lot of talking
Yes,
to machines.
goals.
Please.
Please, if Shalvin, if you could do that edit for TikTok of the Arrested Development. Sorry, curb your enthusiasm. Zoom in on my face. I was just so crushed at that moment. I was like, oh, yes, I'm going to cause absolute chaos. Oh, there was a dinosaur in
you
the
the
one
clip,
section of the
maybe you
room.
can
I
do
wanted there to be a
the effect.
dinosaur on the loose.
It wasn't necessarily a dinosaur.
Okay, it was a large creature with horns.
Yeah, it could have been a rhino.
Or a minotaur.
Or a mite.
A minotaur. Oh, fucking love a minotaur.
Okay, we should
Is
go.
there, is,
Okay.
there, is there an ancient Greek RPG like rule set? So
Well,
you-
there's there
Well,
is
that
a
sounds dope.
5e supplement, Myths of Theros, or something. It's the Greek mythology supplement for 5e, and you get like it's where you get Leonin, which are like lion people, Minotaurs is like player characters. But I haven't read it, but there's loads of like mythology, and it's all Greek based.
Because I've always liked the idea of running a home game of like Sumerian, like really early, like the earliest
Simon?
civilizations
Simon,
based
are
on that
you
mythology.
talking about running a game of D&D?
If I ever had the time.
like you promised that you would do by the end of 2022.
I have a
on the
one shot
stream.
in mind. I have already pitched a one shot to the crew.
Yes. Why don't we do it?
Is
Have
that
you?
us? Are we
I
the crew?
did, yeah.
Or was it?
Yes, we
I don't remember
accept.
that. We accept it. Should we do it for Christmas?
Accepted.
We were thinking of maybe doing it for Christmas.
Oh, were we? Great. Let's do that. Yeah, okay,
that
good.
was the pitch.
Sold.
Knows how much we all remember. Wow.
We have meetings
Do you
frequently.
guys not take notes on like our
No.
social interactions as well?
Whenever we're hanging out, we're like, oh, yes, Simon bought me 2 drinks, and therefore...
Dates. Interesting. Okay.
Interesting.
Features rich.
No.
Anyway, we should probably draw things to a close for Twitch.
Definitely.
Thank you very much for joining, everyone. You've already heard the outro, so you know where to find us. We'll be back next week. And in the meantime,
Follow us right
follow
now.
us- follow
We
us
want
on
to be
all
at
the
100.
things.
We're there,
Emily
100.
Bates' address is
Flat. 25.
right. So before any further doxing takes place, thank you very much for watching. We'll be back next week, and it's goodbye
Bates Lane.
from us.
Bateston.
Bates.
United Bates.
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 Right. Good night, everyone.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.